Welcome to Employer's Perspective. Join Texas Veterans Commission for an inside look at the hiring practices at some of America's top companies. Here's your host, Nicole Anderson.
Thank you for joining us here today. I'm here with Dylan Raymond, lead military recruiter here at Shell's headquarters in Houston. Dylan, can you tell us a little bit about Shell?
Sure, that's a great question. So Shell is a world-class energy company, and they look for ways to help the community, society, socially, economically, environmentally, viable ways, now as well as in the future. Shell is also committed to innovation, and they all look for ways to make the future brighter and to solve energy problems for our future generations.
Wonderful. And can you tell us about what you do here at Shell?
So my role here at Shell is I'm bilingual. I speak corporate and military. So what I do is I do outreach to military candidates, and I find the talent and be able to bring them into the three streams that you can come into Shell, and that's as a recent graduate with a degree 3 years or less, experienced professional, which typically requires a degree, or maintenance, which will require either a welder, mechanic, electrician, instrumentation, and I bring those candidates and introduce them to opportunities here at Shell.
Wonderful. And so my next question was going to be, what kind of hiring initiatives do you have for veterans? And I guess that's kind of encompassing of that question there. So you have the three tracks that veterans can come in through?
Yes, so it's three different tracks. It depends on where the veteran is. So if a veteran is going through college and they receive their degree within 3 years or less, we can look at the graduate program. But there's some qualifications for that route. If you have 3 or more years experience, typically most of the experienced professional roles will require you to have a degree. And then we have operations, craft, and maintenance, which are welders, mechanics, electricians, instrumentation technicians. Those are the 3 different types that we hire for, yes.
All right. And do you have any internal veteran groups here at Shell? I know you've got a very large organization here at your headquarters, and kind of wanted to get a peek at what that looks like.
We do have an internal group, and I tell you, with only me, I'm an army of one, so I'm the only person here doing military recruitment without our employee resource group. It's called MilNet, and MilNet, I lean on them a lot, and they help us with our recruitment, retention, as well as a buddy program. And we're located about 800 across the country in California, Washington, Louisiana, Alabama, as well as our location here in Texas. And integrate, we have people that from as senior as 2-star retired admiral all the way down to your E4. So what we can do is help people that come on board and pair them up so that they can be successful with inside Shell.
Wonderful. What's your workplace culture like here at Shell?
So workplace culture is, I would say, is very inclusive. And it reminds me of the military. I've worked different uniforms, especially in a joint environment. You work with Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines. So it's similar. They have opportunities. You may be working with a team locally, or you may find yourself part of a project of an international team where you're doing calls virtually with organizations, and it's an encouragement to work with people of diverse backgrounds. And I believe that's the strength of our corporation and our organization.
That's wonderful. So can you tell me a little bit about the benefit packages that you offer to employees and to their families?
Yeah, so the benefit package is very, very robust benefit package. We have medical, dental. We even have special plans that help service members or employees as well as their spouses. But one of the things I'm very excited about is we have a global maternity leave. It's a global 16 weeks, but here's the exciting thing. It's not only offered to the mothers, but it's offered to fathers and adoptive parents.
Wonderful. And you were recently announced by Sergeant Major of the Army Daily as the winner of the Soldier for Life TAP Best Advice for Transitioning Service Members contest.
Right.
And so I'm sure that everyone can agree, they'd love to hear kind of what some of the advice is for applicants to Shell that you would give to veteran applicants.
So typically when I give advice, something I like to do is give it in a form that service members are familiar with. and that's using an acronym. Today what I'm going to do, and like the rule of three that my boss David Smith talks about, is just give 3 quick tips to help service members kind of prepare and to put them closer to the tip of the spear. Number 1 is you have to take charge of your transition. This is your experience. So my motto and my word to you is help me help you. Make it easy for me to get you in the process. And you should be visiting our website, so when you talk to me, you already know what's available or what you're interested in. And our website is www.shell.us/military. Number 2, you need to understand what the process, because each company operates a little bit different. So you need to understand the process. What do you need to do? How long the job is posted? What do you need to do to qualify for the particular role? Apply for the role, and just don't give up, because it is pretty challenging. It can be a long process, but stick with it. Stick with it. And number 3 is actually know what the requirement of the job. I know in the military, we can do everything. You know, I know we assign one job, but we typically do more than one job. Here, I tell service members, give me a zip code, put me in a general area, and then we can get an address, kind of tighten up what it is that you want to do, so you can understand what the needs of the job is. That's through the job announcement. And number 2, what your experience is and how do you overlay with that particular job, because you are going to be the one to have to communicate how you are the best candidate for that role.
And so you mentioned a little bit of tightening in on the skills that are asked for the job. What type of soft skills does Shell look for in veteran applicants?
Yeah, so soft skills, one of the things I can say to you veterans is you will be technically sound. You can do your job. I am confident, without a shadow of a doubt, that if I put you in an environment or you're in an environment, you're going to do your job. But the challenge is you want to be able to develop those soft skills. So number 1, effective communication. Be able to communicate complex problems. And guess what? You have it within you because you did it in the military. So know that. Number 2, you're not a stranger to this, working as a team or as an individual, because we do that all the time. And number 3, being able to work under strict timelines. And guess what? You do that as well. So those are some of the skills you want to sharpen up and work on to be able to help you to be successful and complement your technical experience.
Is there anything else about employment here at Shell that you'd like to share or discuss today?
What I would say is just, again, have an idea of what you want to do, a general idea, then get familiar. I would even say create a job alert, so that way you can get jobs in accordance to what you're interested in doing, what location you want to do it in, and just get familiar and be persistent, be consistent, because it's very competitive, but if you stay with it, you can be successful. In fact, we do, a couple times a year, we actually do industry days where we train veterans on the how to get into the industry.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Dylan, for joining us here today, and for Shell for participating and for continuing to assist the military community and the veterans. And thank you, everyone, for watching. If you're still looking for work, please check back to the TVC Facebook page, where we'll have other employers featured. And if you're actively seeking work, please go to your nearest workforce center or visit us at www.tvc.texas.gov.